Hello, this is DonnieRockett. Got a video from G&J Kartway in Camden, Ohio. This video will serve as a kind of a product review of the Yi Lite action cam, and then I'm going to talk about the first race of the OVKA 2019 season up there at G&J Kartway. So right off the bat, if you can probably notice that it's extremely noisy. The audio sounds pretty strange. Lots of clicking and clacking. The image stabilization is trying, but I've reviewed some video from some other racers up there at G&J Kartway going over the same track with their cameras mounted on the front fairing, similar to my mount, and they're using a newer GoPro, I think 7. I don't know what the newest one is, but definitely one of the newer GoPros with image stabilization, and their footage looks a lot better than mine, and it sounds a lot better too. One thing I did notice though is that with this Yi Lite, it did not come with a case or a housing to mount it on your vehicle with. So I had to purchase one of those online, specifically made for the Yi Lite, and the Yi Lite kind of rattled around inside the housing. So I believe that's a lot of the clicking and clacking you're hearing, is that there's a little bit of play inside the housing, and I didn't notice that when I put it together and put it on my go-kart. So basically it's just pretty darn noisy. The color seems pretty decent. At this part right here, it's not too jumpy. There's other instances where it gets pretty jumpy, but just keep watching. So we just started the race. I did not qualify well, so I started in the back. This is officially, I believe, my third race in the L0206 class at OVKA. I raced part-time in the 2018 season, so I have some familiarity with the track. But I did about 4 or 5 races in the OVKA 420 class, which is a little bit bigger kart. You're doing probably about 3 or 4 seconds. Second a lap faster times in the OVKA 420 kart, and this L0206 kart. This is a class at the karting track where I believe the engines are supposed to be sealed, so everybody pretty much has about the same power, which tightens the field up, I think, to some degree. Now last year, I don't think our engine was performing as well, and we've got it tuned up and running right this year. I was looking back on one of the sites that logs in lap times from last year and found the results from the 2 L0206 races that I did last year, and I'm definitely getting a little bit better. Obviously, I'm not up there in the middle of all these go-karts. I'm driving around at the back, but last year they would have been even farther away from me. So I'm starting to figure the track out a little bit, but right there you can see I need a little help because I kind of went off the edge there a little bit, and the gap opened up in front of me as soon as I did that a little bit more. Guy at the Red X, he's a newbie out there. I talked to him a little bit. I think I might get back past him, but then he gets back past me a little bit later in the video. But his kart seemed to be I think he's done some other racing in dirt and things like that. But anyways, he was a decent guy to talk to when I was there. And he put the move on me and finished in front of me. But this is the second heat. If you notice at the beginning of the video, it says that this is the race number 2 of the season. Officially, it is race number 2 on the schedule. Race number 1 was rained out, and we will be basically doing race number 1 on one of the designated makeup dates that they schedule in advance at the beginning of the season, so you can plan for it. So as my Yi Lite was rattling around inside its housing, I think it started to screw up the lens because the curvature of the lens kind of stuck out from the housing around it, and I believe it was touching inside the extra protective, exterior housing, and they were rattling back and forth. So it starts to look like the kart in front of me is blowing out some blue exhausts sometimes. So not good. Again, I screwed up that corner down there, and you can see that there's really not a whole lot of room for error at this track because the guy in front of me just stretched the gap out, and it allowed the guy that was behind me, because there's a dude behind me, he's about to get me, I think, right about now. Where's he at? Yep, there he is. He got me back, and I think even one other guy ends up going past me. But there's that weird exhaust effect from the camera rattling around inside his cage. Yeah, these two guys caught back up to me once I screwed up that other corner. And I think this coming up lap is going to end up being my fastest lap. The guys logging in the fastest laps were doing them in the low 44s, like around 44.3, I think. Maybe it might have been the fastest lap of the day in this class. I got down to 45.9, so I definitely have some ground to make up. But it's an improvement from last year where I was finishing a good 3 seconds behind. You know, my fastest lap was 3 seconds behind the race leader's fastest lap. So I've whittled that down a little bit, I think, through some of the changes in the kart and just gaining some familiarity with the track. So right now I think I'm in my fastest lap. It's a fun series to come out here and race. Everybody's pretty friendly. I'm part of the Racing4Vets team, so I'm the one kart that's in the L0206 class, and we have 3 guys running in our OVKA 420 class. You'll see some other videos on my channel from some of our indoor events that we do with Racing4Vets. So if you're a veteran and you're interested in go-karting, look us up via Facebook or send me a message on this YouTube channel, and we can give you some of the details on how the program works. And we're open to pretty much any level of involvement that you'd like to donate, basically, or give to the group. We've got some guys that will drive, some guys that don't want to drive, but they like working on go-karts, and hanging out with, other veterans and talking about, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine, Coast Guard type stuff. So coming down to that last lap, that rattling in the case is really starting to be evident now in my footage. And I do believe I'm starting to kind of figure, I'm getting a little more comfortable in the kart. I do need to make some adjustments, I think, with the seat. The seat that I'm in, it's pretty essential to be pretty tight in your seat in these go-karts, because you don't want to be sliding left or right in them around these corners, because they will, you're going to catch some G's coming around these corners. So I've got a bunch of foam all stuffed around me, so I'm going to try to find a better fix than just stuffing pieces of a mattress liner in between me and the seat. So anyways, the checker's right there. That's the end of this video. Stay tuned for more videos. Like and subscribe.